Well, here you go, guys. My T8 right here in the living room area. I'm going to show you guys how to remove this rear triangle to get these bearings out. Now, the one problem I'm having here is, yep, this one right here. I stripped this bolt by accident. I used the wrong hex, and now I'm scared it's going to completely strip out. That's going to be the only bolt that you're going to have to remove that I'm not going to show you in this video, but it's simple. I recommend having yourself one of those bungee cords so you can just tie it up and let it hang without putting any tension on these hoses. This is just a video to help you get to your bearings, so that way if you need to service them, or let's say re-grease them, you know, pull the seals off and pack some grease in there, or clean it up and pack some grease in there, you can do that. And if you know your bike is still pretty new, I recommend you do that straight away. And the back right here, we just have a bushing to deal with. So that one we're just gonna see if it's still all good in there, and if everything's good, it's just re-grease and reinstall. So now I need my tools from here, so if you guys don't hear any sizes of these bolts right here, it's because I don't know what their sizes are. I could measure them and probably put them on the screen if I remember, but yeah, and also excuse the dirt on my bike. I did come from Sedona, so there's a lot of red rock or red mud on my bike. All right, first I'm going to put it in a lower gear. Then we got to take the wheel off. Now be careful using, you know, like factory tools. I'm obviously ruining this tool by using it this way. You know, this is a torque wrench. It's only meant to torque stuff down. I'm also using it to take bolts off, and I'm pretty sure it's definitely making the torque spec inaccurate at this point. But you know, I'm so used to working on bikes and stuff that this is normal to me. I just know how tight I should tighten stuff, and you'll get the hang of it once you get the hang of it. Here you go. These bolts right here are actually the same size on the outside as the axle bolt, but on the inside they're the one a little bit smaller that comes in your toolkit. A little bit of caution when you're using cheap tools, just make sure you're not stripping anything out. If it feels like it's gonna slip or it's gonna strip stuff out, don't continue. Just one bolt out. Oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna happen. There we go. Mine seems to be greased pretty well still, so that's good. Everything looks pretty good in there. This is not worn out looking. The bushing looks pretty good. I'll try to give you guys this close up a little later once I get more of this apart. Let's get to the other side. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, just keep on remembering that. If you have two of the same size wrenches, I recommend putting one on each side, so that way you can even the load on it, and that way you don't strip it as easily. And this bolt that you're looking at here actually is going to be reverse thread because it's screwed in from back here. Same on this side, they're screwed in from the inside, not on the outside. So it's going to be a reverse thread to get these off. So it's going to look like I'm tightening it, but I'm actually loosening it up. There you go. With all the bolts right here on this linkage, I usually like to loosen them all first and then take them off, because it'll unload it just in case there's any weird like kink or something in your frame. It's gonna go ahead and unload stuff and help it all come apart instead of looking like something's gonna break. And I've seen people try to fully undo this or undo this and look like it's gonna break this piece because it's just stressing it out. All of this is loosen everything first and then start taking it apart. As you can tell, I already took a lot of the stress out right here on the rear by removing this part. And then you have two more bolts right here, one here and one on this side that you guys can't see. They're the exact same size. And those are all regular threads. They're all regular threads. These ones are just installed backwards. There you go. And then loosen the one on the other side. And if you've ever taken this apart before on your own and realized why things weren't working out smoothly, this is why. You didn't loosen everything first. This one up here as well. Ooh, I didn't tighten that one too much. That's my bad right there. That could have been dangerous. But it was still pretty snug. But not as tight as I would want it to be. Especially for a suspension bolt. Don't forget your washers as well. There's washers in here. There's going to be a washer in there that just got left behind right now that you guys could probably see. Don't forget that. Especially if it falls out and you don't remember. Okay, since I stripped this bottom one, I'm just not going to show it to you guys because I don't want to risk it, because I don't want to have any, you know, extractors or anything to remove this if anything happens. So I don't want to do that just for a demo for you guys right now, because it's working great. And I did just re-grease this bike, by the way, recently, and you guys are probably going to see that when I take this all apart. It does look dirty now, but it should be pretty alright in there still. There you go. And technically right now, the upper half of your rear triangle is disconnected from the whole bike. Try not to bang up my frame by smashing the rear triangle onto my frame. There you guys go. That's the top of your rear triangle, or what's this called? The seat stay part of it. Looks pretty straight to me still. I don't think mine's all messed up or anything. Now I'm gonna get these two unscrewed so we can take this linkage off. This linkage right here is what houses all your bearings. So if you were doing this job at home, all you would really need to do is unbolt this bottom one. It's just one bolt that goes through back this way towards me. And once you unbolt that, you're gonna expose those two bearings right there when you pull the chainstay off. And you can just drive those out from each side, you know, with something long, and just push them out gently, tap on the bottom, tap on the top, slowly up and down until you wiggle it out slowly. You don't want to just keep on tapping on one side because you can ruin the bearing surfaces. So be careful and push them out of there, and you'll be able to push new bearings into there easily. You know, use a piece of wood and just, you know, the getaway, I guess you call it. But if you have presses and stuff, which I don't, then you could do that. Or what I do is I just take all this stuff apart, do this bottom half myself, and this linkage right here I take to my local bike shop and have them press the bearings in and out of it. And there's your linkage right there with all your bearings pressed into it. And just make sure when you're putting it back together, don't screw every bolt in tight all the way. Just put them on, screw them a little bit, and do that to every bolt until you have every bolt on, and then you can tighten everything up. So that way everything will line up and you won't have to fight anything, and it just works out. These bushings are a little bit dirty, but when I clean them, they should still be all right. They look pretty fine still. There you go, wipe them up, and as you can tell inside right there, it's not that surface right there that's a little marred up a little. It's still pretty good. And the inside, still really good. That's 2 years old, guys. Like I said though, I have been maintaining this bike and I have been greasing these regularly. Way more than you should, I think. And what's good about taking the rear triangle apart, you can get all the nitty gritties out of there. Clean all that up. Let's watch a montage of me putting it back together real quick. Don't forget to torque all your bolts to their specs. Well, alright guys, thanks for watching, and as always, ride safe out there. Until the next time, keep the shiny side up.